I'm Lynn. Welcome to Little Fence Garden. I'm a North Carolina gardener in Zone 8A, and I have to garden in a very small space surrounded by a fence because we have so many deer. Good morning. Welcome to this beautiful time of day. I wanted to show you what I put up in place of the greenhouse cover. I ordered what I would call a cheap greenhouse from Amazon, and while I absolutely loved it, the cover started to fall apart. When I took the cover off, it gave me a whole lot more growing space. I love the frame, which you can see behind this little fence. So I know I want to keep that. I'm going to add wire across the top so that I can grow more vegetables, climbing vegetables, but I knew I needed something to close in the back because it was very open. This entire arch right here was open, and trust me, the deer will go right up in there and eat everything. So I just bought this fence. It was $37 at Home Depot, and even if I only get a year out of it, I think it's so beautiful, and it adds just like, not really shade, you can see through it, but it just adds an element of feeling like a patio or something instead of just more and more wire. I'm just doing some garden chores this morning, and it is so easy to want to buy everything in a garden center and then realize when you get home that you spent money on things that you wouldn't have if you had just stopped to think. I'm noticing that this parsley has a fungus, some sort of brown spot. I can't remember what it's called, but I saw a few spots on this plant when I bought it, and I don't know, I was just too excited. And now it's like the entire plant is covered. So I'm gonna cut it back, at least cut off a lot of it, and hope that it gets better and we actually get some good parsley from this. These little leaves don't look so bad. I'm also not gonna overwater this one. I don't think I've been overwatering, but I know that could add to the problem. I hope I didn't cut too much off of this. It does look better. I'm still seeing some leaves that don't look so great. Let's take a look at some of the plants that we have growing and maybe think about some of the things I need to do today. We've got this potato back here. I have to put some soil around that, move it, pull it away from the scabiosa here. We've got some pretty tomatoes starting to grow, and this is an Early Girl Plus slicer tomato. We got more growing here. I do go through and pinch out any suckers that start to grow. Like right here. I mean, if I find one that's really long, I'll try to root it if I miss one. It doesn't hurt to plant if you let these grow, but it seems like they just take energy from the plant and don't really produce as much. You can see here's a bigger one here. Go ahead and take that out before it gets too big. See, that might be one I could stick in some soil and just see what it does. But I already have enough. In fact, I have really got to get these Roma tomatoes out of these containers, separate them out so that they can grow into healthy plants. One thing I definitely have to do is get this borage out of this little 6-pack. It's going to be a big plant. So, well, these are going to be big plants. They need to come out of here and go into something more suitable so that we can have some healthy borage out here. Might need a little bit of water, but while we're over here, let me show you these cotton seeds. I planted those and they are growing. Well, they're cotton plants. I planted the cotton seeds. Someone sent me the cotton seeds in some mail, and I'm so happy to have them. I can't wait to see what they do. Oh, I'm really thinking about moving this chair because look how much space it takes up. I love to sit in here, but I keep thinking, should I put it on the patio where I can see my garden from a spot that's not taking up valuable growing space? I need to do a little bit of watering. This is where I keep, or try to keep, a lot of my vine vegetables. Well, we've got a loofah gourd here. That's another loofah gourd. That is a butternut squash. That is a butternut squash. The squirrels come in and dig in that. So I don't know how many I've planted between these 3 containers. I can't even count how many seedlings have popped through the ground and then they're gone the next day. Or I see just a little nub of green and realize that it was eaten to the ground before I ever really saw it. There's also, I wish I had showed you before I watered, but there's a slime trail right there from a slug. We have so many slugs and snails. I've got to get bold and bring like a little saucer of beer out here to get rid of some of them. I've heard that works, but I've never tried it. I feel so bad for the creatures, but they're eating my vegetables. Now that's a pretty design in the leaf, but I don't want that there. That's an eggplant. The rose is so pretty. Look at the petals. They're pretty on the ground. Of course, they're pretty on the plant too. My hollyhocks are looking good. Now, a squirrel came out here and dug the other day, so I am really tempted to put something over this cage so that the squirrel can't get in here anymore. I really want hollyhocks. I have always wanted hollyhocks. I think they're so beautiful, and I've never had success. Not in this garden, never in this yard. I don't know if it's the soil or what. So these are in a pot this time, and this is the most progress I have ever seen since living here. Got some little African daisy seeds over here. I don't know what to do with this chard. Oh no, I'm really worried about this plant. It's looking wilted, and it is not dry. Saw one little scrape on this stem, but no real hole. I don't know, I'm terrified I'm gonna lose this plant. I had planted some seeds in here, and you can see where the squirrels have just had a heyday digging everything out. And that's diatomaceous earth that got rained on. But this was a beautiful, beautiful petunia that the slugs got to. I found a slug actively eating in here, and yes, I killed it. I feel terrible, but that's what's doing it. I'm always talking about the deer in the yard. Let's go back here to the back. I do see a few. Seems like there haven't been as many lately. I don't know if they're all, oh hi, but there's a few back here right now. They're really pretty. I don't hate the deer, I just wish they wouldn't eat my plants. What you doing? What you doing? And there's another one out there. Hi. Hi, good morning. Good morning, it's okay. I'm not gonna bother you. I just want you to stay out of my garden. Oh, is that a little buck? Oh, so sweet. Gosh, I'm way back in the back getting some gardening tools, and this is the kind of slugs we have. Look at the slime trail. I mean, I don't hate them, but I do not like what they do to my garden. Oh no. I'm also seeing these gorgeous blue feathers in the pathway back here. We have the eastern bluebird, and this is the only thing I don't like about Chester wandering around. We love Chester, but we are always finding animals out here. Now, I don't see an entire bird, but I'm almost afraid to look. As an interesting side note, you're not supposed to keep songbird feathers. There is the, what is it called? The Migratory Bird Act that protects birds. I guess people used to kill them for feathers, for fashion and just collection. So you're really not supposed to have songbird feathers in your possession. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to show up and arrest me if I keep that feather. I'm not sure I want to keep it though, because you know birds can carry diseases, and you need to really wash your hands if you mess with the feathers or with birds or anything like that. I found these out digging in the compost. Now, at first I thought they were onions or garlic, but they don't really smell that strong. Not sure what to think. Could be some kind of ornamental bulb, but I don't know why that would be out here. Okay, I've got all these borage plants. These plus a bunch more seeds that I planted, and they're doing well also. So I'm gonna repot these I'm gonna put a couple in each pot. I've got a pot here and then another pot back here ready to go. Now, borage are not necessarily heavy feeders. They do like some compost material, I think, but too much nitrogen, or, you know, if you feed them too heavily, I think you can get more leaves than you get flowers. I don't have a lot of choice sometimes because I just dig soil out of my compost back there. And again, like I've shown in a previous video, there's a lot of different matter back there. There are tree stumps breaking down. We put ash and coal into the garden, and food scraps. So there's all sorts of stuff. We have a ton of pine trees, so there are pine needles everywhere. It is what it is. And one of the important things I think about gardening in a small space or in your backyard or your front yard is just being able to adapt to what you have. I can't go cut all these pine trees down, and I don't have $100 to go spend on soil today. So I'm using what I have, and we will see what happens, and I will learn how to have a beautiful garden with the yard that I have. So I think borage gets really big, or it can, so I don't want to put too many plants in this one pot. I mean, two may be too many. And you know what? I did drill a hole in 2 of these this morning, and the water's draining out. I got to do that because we're going to have mosquitoes out here, and I don't want that. I don't know how these are going to look. Oh, so look at that. It's got a nice little root system. There are 2 there together, so both of the seeds that I planted did great. I'm not going to try to separate these. We are just going to make a little hole to put these in. Might need to be a little bit deeper. There we go. I'm going to put those right there. And I'm going to go ahead and put another one on this side. It may be too much. I should have my trowel, but it's... Oh, I see it. I thought it was over with the wheelbarrow. I had to break up everything in here, but I feel another clump and a piece of some sort of root that I need to get out of here. All right, there's another really pretty one. This cell just has 1 plant, so this is the one we're going to put right here. I have this shelf here. I'm glad I left it. I almost got rid of it. Well, not got rid of it, but I almost took it out of the garden when I decided to take the cover off of the greenhouse. And then I thought, no, I'm going to keep it, because I like it too much to have for planting space. And maybe we'll put this here. I'm sure I'm going to have to end up moving that down because I think the borage is going to get big. All right, let's go ahead and plant a couple more. And then the rest I'm going to plant out in the actual soil. We're just going to do some in-ground planting. And I brought some seashells out here because we have a collection of seashells from going to the beach. North Carolina is wonderful that way. We have the mountains and the beach, and I'm in central North Carolina. So as they say, from the mountains to the coast. But seashells might help deter the slugs and the snails. And they're also a source of calcium. They break down slowly. So some of my in-ground plants that are really getting destroyed by the slugs and snails, I may put some seashells around them. So let's get this one planted. I don't know if y'all can see where this water is just standing in here, but it's gonna draw mosquitoes in as well as just smelling like swamp. So I decided I've got this really heavy duty awl, and I'm just punching some holes in here. And the water's starting to drain out. So one by one, we're going to get these taken care of. While we're right here outside the gate, let me show you this. That is a beauty berry that I have got to get planted. I have a couple of bushes in the front yard, And this is a plant that had come up a few feet away from one of the big beautyberry bushes out there. So I dug it out. It is sitting there bare rooted. I have got to get it, well, almost bare rooted. I've got to get it in the ground or in a large pot. Well, we got a lot done today, so I'm going to stop. My little granddaughter's coming to see me today. I will be back soon to share what's going on in the little fence garden. From my little fence to yours, happy growing.